Yo, 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 welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Anything and Everything podcast, where again we're covering another episode of Andor, episode 6, and we're halfway through the series. We're getting through it really well, and I've got across the table from me today, you know who it is, the dinosaur man, Big fucking Tim.
Hey guys, how's it going? We got ourselves quite an episode this week. I was sitting up most of this episode actually, which is very rare for me to do. If you ask Jason,
Very rare.
We kind of a quick synopsis of the episode. You know, we finally get our attack on the base. You know, we get the heist, and that's it. That's pretty much the synopsis.
Yeah,
of the
we
whole
get the
thing.
heist. I mean,
Not much development. I mean, there's some little bit of character development that goes on, and then obviously there's a huge cliffhanger in the at the end, which we'll talk about.
yeah, we'll get
But
into that.
the first thing I just want to say is that the plan kind of goes perfect. The only hiccup was, I mean, there was an Imperial soldier that took a piss too close to Val and Cinta, but they didn't get spotted.
Yeah.
And then that one Empire patrol kind of was like, these guys don't look like soldiers, and they followed them, but, you know, Gorn bailed them out.
Yeah, he
So-
saves their ass a little bit. But, I mean, like you said, the plan goes damn near flawlessly. To me, it seems like there was a hiccup in the plan. Like, I think they just planned it bad. I think it was just a bad plan, which we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean,
why
I guess
believe that, but
I guess they weren't expecting, like, it to... I guess they were expecting this shit to hit the fan earlier than it did.
yeah.
I guess, like, because they were like, well, if everything goes wrong, we'll just do this, this, and this. Instead, you know, X, Y, and Z happen instead of A, B, and C, and then we
Yeah.
got to where we're at now. But so a couple things. Obviously the Aldhani residents, they made their, according to Lieutenant Gorn, was a 10-day hike to this sacred ground of theirs, and they did kind of like a ceremonial exchange of like goat hides, and the Empire, probably about maybe like 2 or 3 minutes before this like scene happened, they were just talking shit on like these Aldhani residents, saying that like they don't know what's going on. They've pretty much taken everything we've given them the whole time, and in reality, the Aldhanians know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, we know you're a bunch of pieces of shit. You know, we're just kind of going along with the flow because you're not killing us, and you're still letting us, you know, have our
Celebration.
our ceremonial viewing of the eye. You know.
Yeah. So, like, at this point, they're talking shit on the Aldhani, and they're basically saying, like, you know, 7 years ago there was 15,000 of them that used to show up to the Eye event, and now they're down to only 60 people showing up for the event.
Yeah, they were
because
saying how
they bail out.
Yeah, they either relocate them off world, or they set up these little taverns and bars for them to stop and rest at, which is enticed by cheap drinks that obviously the Aldhanians are going to partake in. You know, they're human just like everybody else. You know, of course they're going to, you know, see an opportunity and go, okay, well, this is fine.
Yeah. I agree. I think the imps do not like the Aldhani, and it's definitely likewise for the Aldhani. They do not like the imps either.
No, absolutely not.
Definitely like hate between the two groups, and I mean, as far as the development of seeing the Aldhani really for the first time, and really seeing the exchange between the Aldhani and the Imperials, that's all really character development that we get for them in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, you know, based on how the episode ends, I don't think we're gonna get,
Yeah, no.
you know, any further Aldhani interaction.
Yeah, probably
you know?
not.
You know,
Maybe at the very end of the series. Maybe that's it.
maybe, you know, I mean, I guess the only thing is that, you know, I guess spoiler alert here. At the end of the mission, Cintas gets left behind.
Yeah.
So maybe we do revisit Aldhani
That's
again.
what I'm thinking.
But
That's exactly where I was going to go with that.
I don't think that, you know, we're gonna be seeing that planet again, at least in the next 5 episodes, or maybe we'll see it briefly in the next episode when Val goes back to get her. But
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's it.
it's just like this episode really doesn't waste any time with the bullshit. It doesn't. They do a little bit of talking in the beginning. There's like a little like exchange between Nemec and Andor. I can't really remember exactly what they said, but it didn't seem very important. It was kind
it
of
was
like
just Nemec was
whatever.
just kind of saying that he wasn't getting much sleep. He was getting anxious.
Oh
And,
yeah.
Andor was kind of like, well, you're just gonna have to get through it.
Right. Once this is done, you can sleep all you fucking want, pretty much.
And he does sleep.
Oh yeah, he definitely does sleep.
Definitely does sleep. But a couple things like in the plan. Only one, I guess, no, not really just one, but two Imperial
One or
officers
two, yeah.
notice that something's wrong. The comms officer notices that all comms are down except for the airbase. And then an Imperial soldier comes running up and says, your comms down too? Yeah, except for the airbase. Which I guess everyone. Then at that point, the officer goes, "Okay, let's get everybody going.
Let's figure out what's going on here."
Because he intercepted their transmissions, saying something's going on in the vault. And then Sinta, just for some reason, does not respond
to the airbase
and lets them dispatch an airbase escort, which was just a awesome sequence.
Dude, that was this episode. Not just that part, but just this episode in general with the whole eye event and everything. It was just the visuals in this series have been like really, really well done. In like, there's just I can't even explain. You just gotta watch the episode, or you just gotta like look at the images on Twitter or whatever. But the maybe not. You're not gonna see as much as like the TIE fighters and stuff. But me and you thought that was that hangar and like the inside of the TIE fighter and just seeing the details up close were just beautifully made. And whether they were actually like props or if they were CGI, they were beautiful. As well as the eye event itself. Obviously, this was an event that we were building to, and we were hoping it was going to be visually pleasing. And I will say it absolutely hit the nail on the head with that one.
Dude, it was breathtaking. I mean, like the amount of just colors and just like you get like one or two individual comments going over, and you're like, oh, okay, like this is, and then all of a sudden, like the sky just opens up,
and
you're
lights
like,
the fuck up,
and
you're like, oh wow. Like, we were sitting there like, holy shit, this is awesome. And then, like, it cuts from the eye right to the scene of the TIE fighters. And me and you were just like, holy shit, this is awesome.
Yeah, like, you get to see, like, like in most, like, movies, like, the pilot just hops into the airplane and they just take off right away. No, like, you can see the attention and detail that these directors and these actors are going through. These TIE fighters go through their pre-flight checklist.
Yep.
They're pressing all the things they need to engage before they can take off. You see them running over. They're sliding down a ladder into their cockpit, popping the lid open, closing the lid.
Yep.
Turning the turbines on, getting everything engaged, and you're just kind of like, this is awesome.
Just so much detail, so well done. Shout out to the director and everybody who took part in that, because the sequence there and the attention to detail when it comes to that, and matching it up to where we've seen other TIE fighter things happening. I mean, they make the same movement that Vader makes in his ship when he turns the knob. He reaches up on the dash, turns the knob. The TIE fighter does that in this episode multiple times. Just the whole entire scene of them getting into the TIE fighters, turning everything on, is the same as you see it in Rebels. But finally seeing it in live action, it's so much more visually pleasing and breathtaking to see it rather than versus animation. But I mean, this episode just in general is so beautiful, and there's just so we could go on and on about how amazing it looks, but let's get into the actual plot here of the episode. So, like we said, there's only really one smart Imperial who kind of sees that there is something going wrong here. There is, they sneak up they follow the path, they get behind the Aldani, they get up. Gorn saves them from the other Imperial, I guess, stormtroopers or whatever they are.
Gorn sends the other squads down to kind of hang out with the Aldani to keep the peace, and majority of the forces are either on the roof of the dam, or they're in the valley
with the Aldani.
With the Aldani. There's only a very there's an 8-man loading crew in the hold.
Mm-hmm.
There was a 2-person dining staff, and then 1 guard inside.
Yep.
That was it.
Yeah.
Everything else was just on the top defenses and outside with the Aldani.
And then there was two people in the what do you call it?
Two people in the communications tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, with all these people, Goran diverts 3 squads of 4 people, so 12 men, 12 troops to stay in the valley. He sends another 2 down once he gets up to the base of the dam, and then when he gets inside, there's pretty much nobody until they get to the ship in the vault, where he, does what he has to do. And so, speaking of the loading crew,
well, there was another thing I wanted to mention about Gorn, is when Sintot shuts the lights out at the base. Where is Gorn, and where is he going at that point?
I think he was just coming inside from the dam.
I don't know. He looked like he was in the kind of like a secret part of the base. It was kind of weird.
It did seem like that. It was like a small hallway, not a lot of like
real shady looking, like something
definitely.
like, and the rest of the base is like
very
mechanized and lit up, and this part of the base there's still rock formations and mixed with some like mechanical aspects of it. So
yeah.
Was it were they just showing him coming back, or were they showing him coming from somewhere, going to go do something?
Yeah, he might have been doing something, because he also seemed to be expecting that the lights were going to come on, because he already had a flashlight in his hand. So
yeah,
I don't know if that was part of the plan.
It's I don't know. It's just a small detail that, as we know, Disney does not include anything by accident. Everything is shot for a reason.
Yeah, and
so maybe there's some subplot there.
So
unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna.
I was gonna get to
out,
that. Yep.
Because after our team makes it to the holding bay and musters the holding crew down there that's gambling.
Mm-hmm.
That holding crew, by the way,
Sabak,
is
I believe.
Yeah, they're playing.
I couldn't tell if it was Sabak or not, but
that holding crew is probably the fastest in the galaxy.
Yeah, dude,
8 men,
insane.
Stole 80 million credits, and it felt like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
that's hella impressive.
And maybe it was just like how fast paced the episode was going, that it just seemed like everything was just like boom, 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 boom. And obviously, we don't know how long it actually took them, because what we see versus how long it actually takes in universe are 2 separate things. But I mean, most of the time, things happen in real time, and if we're assuming that this is, then holy shit, are they fast. They stole 80 million credits in what seemed like no time at all, and then next thing you know...
Yeah, disaster kind of strikes.
The
communications crew...
show up.
Yeah, the communications crew kind of come down the stairs, they're hauling ass, and they kind of see the commander of the base kind of like clenching his chest.
Yep.
Like, hey, commander, is everything okay?
He has a fucking heart attack.
Gorn's trying to defuse the situation. The commander has a heart attack, and next thing you know,
then they started blasting.
Our boys get blasted. Gorn gets killed almost right away.
Yep.
Tamarin gets blasted practically right away. So it's some of the worst cover 5 I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude. They like nod. Him and Skeen like nod at each other like, oh yeah, cover me. Skeen takes 1 shot. Now, granted, he hits his shot, but then like there's like still 6 dudes up on this walkway, on this catwalk, and he doesn't shoot a single other shot. He just lets Taraman die. I think it was kind of. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. We'll circle back.
I think you knew where I was going with that, so we'll get back to that. But like, so 80 million credits is a lot of credits.
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's a lot of credits to me and you.
Right.
Okay.
To the average citizen in the galaxy.
The average Joe, of the 1.75 million planets the Empire governs, 80 million credits is a lot to each one of those citizens. However, to the Empire, it ain't jack shit.
Nope.
Now, to give you guys some comparisons here, okay, 80 million credits, right? That is 7 zeros, right? 7 zeros on 80 million?
On 80 million?
Yeah, 7 zeros.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
6, 7, yeah, 7.
The Death Star cost 192 quintillion credits, which is 18 zeros. Okay? So the Empire doesn't give a shit about 80 million credits. Okay?
Not really. Like that's a sector's payroll, but they didn't even take all of the credits. Like
Yes.
there was still credits sitting in the vault.
Now, to put it in perspective for you guys, 192 quintillion credits. Holy shit, like that's a lot of money. Okay. The Empire brings in on average a year 4.6 sextillion credits, which is 21 zeros. Okay. And it collects it from 1.75 million planets.
The number is insane. Like, just to hear 1.75 million planets when in our universe we only know of one planet with life, to think that they're collecting taxes for 1.75 and there's not even life on every planet in Star Wars is just like, oh, it's just mind-boggling.
So on
large.
average, right? So there's 7 billion people on planet Earth. Okay, you times 7 billion times 1.75 million planets. Obviously, not every planet is going to be as populated as Earth, but that is a lot of taxes from a lot of people.
Yeah.
And the Empire was kind of like,
and you got to think Coruscant probably has much more than 7 billion people.
Yeah, I mean
there is hundreds of layers in Coruscant's surface where people live.
The Empire doesn't really care that 80 million credits got stolen. I think more or less what the Empire cares about is the fact that some high-ranking officers were killed and some credits were stolen.
And that there was a rebellion, an organized, coordinated attack.
Yes, because at the end of the episode, you see Mon Mothma's giving a speech in the Senate, trying to, I think she was actually trying to defend the people of Aldhani. At least that's kind of what the bits and pieces I picked up off the speech.
That speech kind of didn't make any sense to me because there was just like, there was no build up to that like in the previous episode or like any time this episode. Like we hadn't seen her at all in this episode. And the next thing you know, she's just giving this speech, and it was clear that nobody in the Senate really cared. And I really didn't either because I didn't understand what the hell she was even talking about.
It sounded like she was talking about the people of Aldhani, but then again, like a couple episodes ago, she's speaking about a food crisis at another couple of her planets. Yeah. So it's possible that maybe she was talking about one of those planets or Aldhani itself. We don't know. We have to probably watch it. But she's giving this speech, and all of a sudden, like, she's looking around, and people just don't give a shit. And they're talking amongst themselves. They're looking at this tablet. So she kind of doubles back, looks at her tablet, and she's just kind of like, oh, shit.
This is what happened. So I don't think she was giving a speech about the Aldhani thing. I think she was...
No, I think she was giving a speech about the Aldhanians, how they're being relocated off planet. I think that's what she was talking about.
It might have been.
Because she was talking about how people are being moved, and that's their homeland, and like they have the ceremony, which that's why I thought it was about Aldhani.
Yeah, and so I think what happened with that scene is she was giving like her speech, and then she like realized like why is everybody like looking at their tablets? Why does nobody care about what I'm saying? And then she looks at her own tablet and sees that the attack happened, and she goes, "Oh, that's why nobody cares because there was this major attack on this planet, and struck a huge, quote unquote huge blow to the Empire."
2 Imperial colonels were killed, a couple of foot soldiers, a lieutenant, obviously.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Gorn was killed, obviously.
Even though we know he's a traitor, but the outside world doesn't know that.
Yeah, and obviously they're not gonna publicize it as this lieutenant betrayed the Empire. They're gonna say, "Oh, lieutenant was killed by the rebels."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and then it doubles back to it cuts away to Mon Mothma to Luthen in his shop when he's showing some rare necklaces to some lady with his assistant, and then the gentleman in the back goes, "Hey, you have anything from Aldhani?"
Yeah.
And then mentions the rebel attack. Luthen kind of skits the back, and he just kind of lets out this maniacal laugh, like we've achieved victory.
And then you kind of see a look of worry on his face, though. Like he goes from like laughing, excited, and he's got his hands like over his head, and then he puts his hand on his head, and you see his face like kind of slowly go away from a smile to kind of like a, what did it cost us? Like what happened? Like it couldn't have went perfect. Like the plan succeeded, but it couldn't have went perfect. So what really happened here?
And the cost of that, which happens obviously off-world here, while Andor is trying to. By the way, the sequence of them launching out of that tunnel, by the way, was visually just.
Oh, again, visually stunning.
Like orgasmic,
dude.
Like holy shit.
That entire like scene of just the eye sequence, like that 10 or 15-minute sequence, is just like, oh my god! Between the TIE fighters and the launching of the ship and the eye and. Like, you can even see the amazement, and they have, like, the Aldhani people are crying with how beautiful that this is. And, like, I'm not saying I was crying, but it was beautifully done.
Yeah, it was honestly a very visually pleasing moment. But something more important happens on that ship, obviously, outside of us seeing the eye. While Andor is trying to evade these TIE fighters, unfortunately, our boy Nemec, he he gets paralyzed.
Yeah,
The
when they
force
take
of the
off.
launch, the credits crush him between two piles of credits, and he loses feeling in his legs. And at that point, Skeen and Val kind of have an argument about, do we let him die or do we try to save him? Because apparently it was a contingency built in for a doctor trip
Yeah.
in case something happened.
So the thing about these credits, and this is what I want you guys to understand, one roll of these credits, 2 people had to carry one roll. There was 6 rolls on each cart. He was smushed between 2 of these carts with the impact of the launch. So
and they weren't traveling very light.
yeah, no,
They were hauling ass.
Yeah, so I mean, this dude
Like
gets
they were evading
crushed.
TIE fighters.
And he knew immediately because you saw the look of worry on his face. As soon as it hits him, he looks down his chest like, "Oh shit!"
He was like, I can't feel my legs.
Yeah, he said, "I can't feel anything." I mean, dude, this is just like this episode stepped it up with the action. I may be a hater sometimes of and very critical of the series and of any Star Wars stuff, but I will give it props where it's due, and this was a really well done episode of the show, and I mean, it was just great. But for right now, we're actually going to take a step away here to go to our sponsor, and when we get back, we'll go into a little bit more detail with some of kind of what was happening in the episode. So 1 second, and we'll hear from our sponsors.
All right, guys, and we're back from our ad break here. But I wanted to talk to you guys just a little bit about, I guess, kind of how you guys can support us and how you can really help promote the channel. Because obviously you guys are here listening to us. You guys love the channel. You support the channel. Why not get our name out a little more like we do? Right now I'm rocking. It is getting a little chilly out. I mean, I think it was 45 degrees last night.
Ooh.
Dude, it's a little brutal.
45. Ugh.
But I'm rocking our A&E organic hoodie. It's a really soft material. It's not badly priced either for a hoodie. It's for a good material. It's keeping me warm down here. We got the fans going. We're in the basement. So it's a good item. Something that you guys can rock for the wintertime, keep you guys warm and help promote the channel. But enough to hear me ramble about that. Let's get back to what you guys really want to hear, the content. So a couple things we want to mention that we kind of just skipped over. Tamarin was a former stormtrooper, and why this is important is that, one, it kind of helped them blend in as stormtroopers, and 2, Cinta's family was actually killed by stormtroopers. So when she found out that he was a stormtrooper, it did not go very well, and we understand that from the dialogue between Skeen, Marek, and Andor. Very, very interesting how those two. I would like to just see like a flashback scene about how that went. That'd have been pretty interesting.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Taramin is dead, and
because Skeen
Cinta is
gives
left for dead.
Skeen gives the worst cover fire in the history, and then they were like, "Cinta, you be all right."
Yeah, they literally just like don't. That was my flaw with the plan. Like they literally don't even like try and double back for her. Like they're just like, yeah, we'll just leave her there.
Well, it's like she marches out the front of the base in a officer's uniform, and nobody's gonna be like, "Lieutenant, like, where are you going?"
Right.
Like, you're just gonna walk off into the sunset,
Very confusing there. I thought she was just gonna start blasting the imps that were down by the Aldani, and say, like, for you guys, like, I'm gonna kill these.
Because she's walking down, and they're all staring at like the sky.
She could have
the eyes coming over. She could have blasted all those imps and
blasted them with her AK blaster, which we did find out this episode. It is a blaster. It's not just a regular gun.
Yeah, Val.
So everybody.
Val was tucked behind cover there. She had her AK. She peeks around the corner and blasts the community. The guy who was initially spotted the rebels on via the comms.
Most accurate AK you're ever gonna shoot, by the way.
It was weird to see an AK shoot a laser beam. That's all I'm gonna
it really
say.
is, and like. Finally, the uproar of all these fucking people who were bitching about the AK being in Star Wars can shut up. It's a blaster. All blasters in Star Wars are modeled after real-life weapons. Get over it. Grow up. But we find out later on that Skeen is...
No.
No, you don't want to go to that?
No.
Oh, okay. We can talk about this too.
Yeah, I mean, we got to finish on the planet first before we go off planet.
Oh yeah, I forgot that does happen off planet. Oh shit.
Yes. So as my colleague kindly skipped over our notes, the Imperial Air Force, they have hell of a response time. They realized that the vault was open, and all of a sudden they're sending TIE fighter pilots they're like, yo, go. They're there in like 5 minutes.
And we don't know how far the airbase is from this garrison. So, like we know TIE fighters are fast, but we also don't know how far this is. This could be halfway across the damn planet, and they're there in 5 minutes like that. Boom.
Yeah, it was a very fast response time. But you would think for having at least a minimum of 80 million credits on this base, there'd be a more of a response than 8 stormtroopers and not even stormtroopers, 8 regular soldiers
and 3
TIE fighters. You know,
which usually 3 TIE fighters would be enough to intercept one ship, but we're also talking about this entire sector's payroll being in jeopardy. So you would think they would send a little more of a defense there.
I mean, you have to understand. I guess I do understand why the reinforcements were so scarce. According to the Empire, this is peacetime.
Yeah.
There's no threat. There's no reason for them to worry about X, Y, and Z. I mean, sure, they've been building the Death Star at this point for, close to 15 years, but in reality, it's just a weapon for them to secure the Empire with. But 3 TIE fighters is just it's honestly just I guess a decent response, but still not the response I would be expecting for 80 million credits.
Right, I mean, dude, to any Joe Schmo, like we said, 80 million is a lot, and you would think that, that's probably that entire garrison's pay, and then some.
Yeah, there's about, I mean, in total the base has 30 stormtroopers, 30 soldiers, and a off-site air base that holds 3 TIE fighters.
And they also have officers there, and they also have.
Yeah, you would think that maybe there would be maybe a couple ATSTs, maybe an AT-AT.
We saw some speeders there.
We did see some speeders, but what is a speeder going to do? You know what I mean? You need to show some force.
Yeah.
And especially if they're considering that the Aldanis haven't been exactly peaceful, you would think you'd want a bigger sector there. I mean, sure, they were talking about how they were trying to build it into a bigger air base in the coming year. Maybe then they were going to upgrade the security a little bit, but I just think for what was there, which was an underwhelming amount of people.
Definitely an underwhelming response from an Empire who has, like we said, $4.6 sextillion of revenue per year. You would think that they would pour a little bit more into making sure that they're safe and protected, and they're not losing, all of that revenue to being stolen by a group of 7 rebels who were. Plan goes flawlessly, but to be honest, it was a very poorly planned.
It was a poorly, all things considered, it was a poorly designed plan.
Yeah, I mean, they left somebody, there on the planet. They lost 3 people. Fucking died on the mission.
4 people died on the mission.
Gorn, Tamarin, and Nemec. But then the last one, we haven't talked about it.
Still technically on mission.
It was on the mission, but but on that planet, 3 people die. Well, not on that planet.
2 people technically died on the mission.
Well, he was going.
3 people
he was
died.
Going to die.
3 people died as a direct result of the mission, and the 4th died as a result of the mission, which we'll talk about a little later.
Yeah, Nemec basically died on the launch. His fate was sealed at that point.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he was crushed after the lift out of the base, we knew he was kind of toast.
Toast. And then once we get off world, I'll jump to this point now.
Yeah, they they go see this doctor because obviously Skeen convinces Val hey, listen, we need to try to save.
I don't think Skeen convinces her.
Well, I think Skeen kind of. I
think Andor's just fuck it, we're going.
And Andor kind of well, because you see Andor and Nemec were kind of bonding over the last couple days.
Yeah, the last.
And I guess Andor was just fuck you, I'm gonna go make sure that my boy's okay.
Yeah, and also Skeen and Nemec were pretty close. And Skeen and Andor were getting close as well after their little, fight thing that they had the other episode. And so they go to this doctor, he tries to fix up Nemec, and while he's fixing up Nemec, Skeen and Andor have a little chat.
Yeah,
and
so Val's inside with the doctor,
with the doctor
overlooking
and with
Nemec. So Andor and Skeen are kind of alone. But yes, go ahead.
And so they they're in there or they're outside just kind of sitting on logs or something, just talking, shooting the shit, and Skeen's just kind of like, hey dude, there's 80 million credits there. Let's take 40 each and just dip, and just leave everybody here. And Andor kind of just looks at him like, wait, so you're not like here for the rebellion? Like, what about your brother? What about this? What about that? And he's like, dude, none of that exists. None of that's real. I don't have a brother who died and because of the result of the Empire. I don't have or I guess he committed suicide. Like, he made that all up. He's a big ass liar, and he was there, for himself. And Andor was kind of like, yeah, dude, that ain't cool. Number one, but you're also not gonna get me thinking that I'm gonna take half and then you kill me. So Andor just shoots him dead.
Andor just whips out his blaster and just puts a blaster shot in his head.
Like, I wasn't expecting it, but like knowing what we know about Andor later on, like he has no problem killing people on his own missions. He killed the dude on the first scene of Rogue One. Like,
yeah, he's all about the mission.
Yeah,
he's all about it.
He always has been.
Now, what kind of like perplexes me next is how Andor kind of handles the next couple minutes.
Yeah.
So Andor walks into the tent, and the doctor's kind of just telling like Val, like, hey, listen, like, I'm sorry, I did everything I could. They put a cover over Nemec.
Yeah.
So he died. And Andor comes walking in with a blaster. Val's like, hey, where's Skeen? And Andor's like, I killed him. He's fucking dead.
Yeah, I shot that MFer dead. Like, he's done.
So Val's like, what the fuck? Like, are you kidding me? And she's like, well, like, why? He goes, he was going to try to leave you here and take all of the money.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I don't believe that. And he goes, well, too bad. That's what happened.
Yeah. He basically says, think on it then. Like, you got time to think on it. Think on it.
And then he does something that me and you kind of just didn't understand. He rips the Kyber crystal off his neck, hands it back to Val, and says, take this, give it back to Luthen.
Yeah. He says, give it back to your whoever.
I'm going to take my 200,000 credits
that he was promised.
I'm going to take the doctor's speeder. I'm going to take the doctor's ship. I'm going to pay you $30K for it, and I'm out.
Yeah. It's just odd because, like we were just talking about, that's 80 million credits sitting there, and he honestly probably could have taken $1 million of it, and they would have known. They would have been any wiser. Like, they wouldn't have known. No,
because I mean, obviously they're so worried about Nemec.
They
never counted it, so he could have taken any amount of money he wanted
and gotten away.
And like.
Yeah, I mean, and like we were talking about, $200,000 like that. So that's equivalent in U.S. dollars to $288,000, which is like, honestly, like, it's a lot, but it's a lot for like 5 years. Then you're out of money. Like, you buy all your shit and you're out of money. So it's a lot, but it's not as much as it should be. He's still gonna have to work at some point in his life to make more money. Because I can't imagine there's a great investing opportunity in Star Wars.
No, I mean, outside of investing in the Empire.
Yeah, I don't think there's a stock market at this point in the Star Wars universe. So, but yeah, I mean, he takes his word. He does keep his word though that he made. He says, "I'm going to take my $200,000 and I'm going to dip. I'm going to give you $30K for your ship, and you can have the rest of the money. Do what you want with it, and I'm going to be out of here. Peace out." And he walks out.
Yeah, he just dips.
Very odd there.
I did find it really, really perplexing, but
because it kind of leaves me like where do we, where does our story go?
Where does it go from now?
Because now it leaves me even more perplexed as to why we built up these characters to now have everybody in the crew except for Val and Cinta dead. Cinta and Val aren't together.
Well, I mean, they are together.
Well, they're together. Yeah, they're definitely together.
Yeah,
but they're not together.
There's a very tender moment they share.
Yeah, they do share a hand touch.
They are indeed together. But
yes.
No, Val is left on this planet, which I don't recognize, with this doctor that we don't recognize.
He has 4 arms, by the way.
4 arms, and has some cool-looking eyes.
Glasses, I believe they're like little
and then
bifocals.
Cinta's in an Imperial officer's uniform walking around on Aldean with no ship.
Yeah,
Aldani, sorry, with no ship. So I don't know how the hell she's getting out of there.
Really lost here on where they were trying. Listen, maybe they come back and they hit us with more story, but
yeah, but I mean, I
a little lost at the end of this episode here.
Yeah, I kind of want to double back though, because I think I have an idea where the show's heading next.
Okay.
Because obviously, Andor kind of leaves us on a cliffhanger, so we don't really know what his next move is. But I
Yeah.
think the next move for the show is to start highlighting the Empire's response to this obviously organized rebellion.
Yeah.
Because not only do we get a glimpse of the Senate, and the senators are seeing that rebels are attacking, but now we're also getting the Imperial Security Bureau on Coruscant is saying, hey, we have a problem.
Yeah, the ISB is definitely kind of like, whoa, 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 what the hell happened here? We lost an entire sector's payroll. We need to figure this out.
Yeah, we lost $80 million. We lost 3 officers and a couple of soldiers.
We need to figure out what's going on.
And 3 TIE fighter pilots.
Yeah.
That was an expensive raid for the Empire.
And a ship.
Yeah, and the freighter, yeah.
And 3 TIE fighters.
3 TIE fighters, 3 TIE pilots, 3 officers, 2 colonels, and a lieutenant. And then...
And presumably, the uniforms that the crew was wearing, the guns that the crew had, probably all came from the Garrison.
They all came from Gorn, more than likely. And then, obviously, a couple of Imperial soldiers that died along the way, unfortunately.
Yeah. And it's just like, this was a strike to them, and so they're kind of like, whoa, call your families. You're not going home tonight. I want your response plan by midnight.
Yeah, maybe we do see more Aldhani then. Maybe because obviously when all the shit happened on Ferris, the Imperials showed up at Ferris and was like, hey, listen, this is our base of operations now. Maybe we're going to get a little of that. Maybe we'll get, Deidre ends up on Aldhani for some reason. Maybe it's her sector.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to tie this in.
Maybe the Cintas will get tied into it and she got captured.
And then Val goes to finds
Andor and goes. There's a whole different way they could spin this.
Yeah.
Maybe we get more of a broader, I guess, horizon on the rebellion. Maybe we see some Saw Gerrera because he was in the trailer. So maybe we transition over to Saw Gerrera. Essentially what we're trying to figure out is now that this mission's over, where do we go from here?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're only halfway through this show. We're only 6 episodes in. There's still 6 episodes to go, which means 6 more weeks. And there's still a lot of show left. I mean, we've got, I think, past the first 2 arcs of the show, which was that first arc on Ferris with that whole thing and setting up the next mission. And now the Aldhani arc is kind of over. I think in the next 3 episodes, we're going to get another small arc, which they all kind of all together build towards a bigger arc that happens in 10, 11, and 12, which obviously be the end of the first season.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, essentially, we're trying. I guess they're building a story. They're building the ground of the Empire. I mean, not the ground of the rebellion up, and trying to get to that point where, 20 X-wing fighters take down the Death Star.
Yeah, I think the point here is to show that I think episodes 1 to 9 are going to show that, in the first episode there is a coordinated attack on Ferris. They are not a coordinated attack, but an attack by the rebels on Ferris. They steal this box and then they fight the Empire and then they get away, or they fight the core, the security core, whatever they were, the mall cops, and they get away.
And the mall
cops. Then
that's my favorite part of that.
and then now in the second 3 episodes we get a full coordinated attack. And then in the next 3 episodes, we're going to get another full coordinated attack or attacks, multiple. And then in that final episode, we're going to see that the rebellion has come full circle to where we're going to see it either in the beginning of Rogue One or before the second season of Andor, if there is going to be one of those. I think there is.
No, there has to be, because there's just so much that
there's so many years.
There's so much
to cover.
you can cover. We're still 5 years away from Rogue One.
Yeah. I think what they're going to do is this episode's kind of, or this season's kind of going to end, and then, there's going to be a 3-year gap, and then the next season's going to take place over that next 2 years until Rogue One starts.
I think you'll see a time gap, and then a time jump at the start of the next season if there is one.
Yeah.
And I think that's when we'll get the official Mon Mothma declaring war on the Empire officially.
Yeah, I think that's when we're going to see a lot of scenes from Rebels kind of redone in live action. and we're gonna get to see the full thing come around. But like we were saying, the Imperial officers find out, the ISB finds out about the attacks, the rebel attacks, as well as the Senate. They find out as well, and they kind of all discuss it among themselves. And I think in the next couple episodes, we're going to see the Empire's response to the attacks, and also from the political side. So we're going to see their military response with the ISB, and we're going to see their political response within the Senate, and how they kind of attack the growing rebel threat to their empire.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know exactly what the numbers look like once the rebellion starts. We don't know how many planets are loyal to the rebellion, how many planets are loyal to the empire. But you have to think there's 1.75 million planets in the empire.
Yeah, that pay taxes to the empire.
So, how many of those systems are going to be loyal to the rebellion? Maybe we'll see some political developments, and we'll see, who really supports the empire, because we don't know. I mean, the rebellion, because we don't really know where these people come from. I mean, as far as I know, they could all be farmers like Luke Skywalker was.
Yeah.
Farm boys that were just tired of being shit on by the empire. We don't know.
Yeah, to be honest, we really haven't seen, like, as big as Star Wars is, and as now that I've seen an actual number of 1.75 million planets, the fact that we've only really seen 20 of them.
At least 20.
Maybe 20.
Let's see. So, I mean, what?
Naboo.
Coruscant, Naboo, Tatooine.
Endor.
Kashyyyk.
And Endor's not even a planet. It's a moon of a planet.
Endor, yeah.
And then we see the Hosnian Prime system, which is 7 planets.
Hosnian Prime, the Bespian,
I can't even think. Like, Jakku.
Jakku. Hoth.
Exegol.
Yavin 4. Exegol. I'm at 11 right now.
I don't think there's...
Camino, 12. We're really stretching here.
I mean, listen, there's other planets that we know of, like, in Clone Wars and stuff, but the fact is that we have not seen enough of different terrains
Geonosis,
and stuff.
13.
Yeah, we just haven't seen enough. Like, I want to see, what do people who live on snow planets, like, what do they do for a living? Like how do they make their life? How do people in Coruscant, and how do people on more city, how do people on Alderaan, how do they make a living? How are these people surviving? Like, I want to see more just like normal life shit, not just like farmers. Because I feel like every time we see somebody, they're just like farmers.
Yeah.
Like in this show, they're surviving on Aldhani because they're farmers. They have goats. There are different types of farmers. There's goat farmers, milk farmers.
Even in Obi-Wan, we got a couple butchers, some farmers, some spice traders.
It's like
the people
it's like the criminals and then they're like
Book of
farmers.
Boba Fett. Same thing, or mechanic.
Right.
You're either a mechanic, a farmer,
or a criminal.
That's it. That's what you.
Or a bounty hunter, maybe.
Oh yeah, bounty hunter's popular too. Yeah.
It's like I want to see more shit. Like, or you're some political figure, or you're in the Empire. So there's that stuff. I just want to see more like everyday shit. Like, what do these people really do? Like, at least on Bespin, we're watching Empire right now. At least on Bespin, there's there's an ecosystem. There's a city. It's Cloud City. There's a city there. There's jobs there. There's a guy who runs with the milk machine.
Yeah, you have servants, and then politicians.
A couple more servants.
And then some more servants. Yeah. So.
And then you have Lando, who's a gambler, essentially.
Yes.
And a swindler.
A chronic gambler who runs Cloud City.
Pretty much. And then
you have soldiers and pilots.
But we do get to see, one really cool profession. One thing I really am enjoying about this series is Luthen. He's
some more Easter eggs.
He's an ancient. I don't even know what to call them, like antique trader or collector.
Antique collector. I think we're not sure here, but we saw, I think, 3 Sith armors.
Yeah,
in his
2
shop.
or 3 here.
We're not sure if that's a continuity error.
Like they just forgot to move it.
Or if he actually has all those armors. Because a couple things. Based off what we know, is that these armors were supposed to be a reference to Starkiller.
Yeah.
Which was a singular person.
One singular person.
Now, it could be that they are just general ancient Sith armors, which indicate the presence of multiple Sith.
Yeah.
Which would hence confirm that the rule of two is not always a thing, because obviously we know George Lucas retconned the Sith War, the 1,000-year Sith War. So maybe there was at one point more than one Sith.
Yeah.
More than two Sith.
Well, so in Rebels, I know George might have retconned it, but in Rebels, there was shown to be a very large-scale Sith versus Jedi war. On what planet is that? It's the one where Darth Maul fights with the Inquisitors and Ahsoka and Kanan and Ezra, and then eventually Ahsoka and Vader have their amazing duel. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and look that up on YouTube and watch it. It's great. But like I said, we don't know if that's a continuity error or if there actually was multiple Sith armor there in his collection. He does have a lot of Jedi and Sith artifacts. He has Plo Koon's mask. He has Jedi and Sith holocrons. He's got Mandalorian armor. He's got Sith armor. Like he's got a lot of shit.
He has some very valuable shit. Because if you melt that Beskar steels down, that's some money. That's a whole chest plate.
That's
some money.
Big money. And I'm sure that the Empire would pay good money for Jedi and Sith holocrons. So I'm sure the Emperor would come and pay him a fat lump of a change.
Well, they just have Wayfinders sitting in the Death Star. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff in that. We tried to look on that final shot. We didn't really find anything that we know was an Easter egg. I mean, I'm sure
just
we'll
some like
more.
Carbonite slabs in the back.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get more. As the week goes on, I'll see little things on Reddit or on Twitter or whatever, and we'll cover it next episode if we do. But kind of our final point here: what does Andor do from here? Like, what does he do? Where's his next move?
I was waiting for you to kind of bring this up. So, I think I want to mention your point earlier that you said that each 3 episodes is like its own arc, its own trilogy.
That's what it feels like right now.
The first 3 were designed to finish his old life, right? His old life on this planet in the middle of nowhere. Then I think the next 3 were to help him understand why the rebellion is important and why he wants to be a part of it.
Yeah. And he's still not sold yet by the end of this
No, he's still not
episode.
sold yet. But I think in the next episode, or maybe in the next 2 episodes, because I have a feeling we're not going to see Andor much next episode. I have a feeling it's going to be a very Coruscant-heavy episode.
Yeah, very political, very ISB episode.
But I think when we do see... Jesus, C-3PO got destroyed. I forgot about that. I don't think we're going to see Andor much. I think he's going to be doing a lot of soul-searching next episode. He's going to be thinking, like, I could have taken all those credits, but I only took $200K because I'm a man of my word.
Yeah, because I'm a good man who fights for a good cause.
I think he realized during that operation, he goes, the rebellion needs me. Because that mission would have never...
More than I need them.
Yeah, that mission would have never have happened without me.
Yeah,
we would have never been successful. And I think he's always been searching for a purpose in his life.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the biggest thing.
Because that's how Luthen originally got him on board in the first place. Like, don't you really want to do something about it?
Yeah, like don't you want to strike a real blow to the Empire? You don't want to just fight this little fight. You want to strike this big blow to the Empire that's gonna hurt them for years to come. And obviously we do see he will get around to doing that, but we got to see the journey of how does he get to that point.
Yeah, so I said there's 2 ways this could probably happen. The first one is the way I kind of described, where he disappears for an episode, he does some soul searching, realizes he wants to be part of the rebellion. Or the second thing. Now the second one is which I think is what's going to happen more. Now tell me your thoughts on this, right? I think that the ISB is going to come in there and they're going to ask the survivors of the attack, like, hey, listen, can you recognize, can you describe whoever attacked the base? And obviously they're gonna pull up the description of Andor.
Yep.
Right. They're gonna match the one from Ferris, and then the mall cop's gonna get reintroduced. Cyril. They're gonna be like, Cyril's gonna be like, wait. Cyril's gonna be like, oh shit, like this is the same guy from Ferris, and that's how he gets introduced to the Empire.
And he's gonna say, oh yeah, he also stole this thing, and then they're like, oh, Deidre, you know about this thing.
Yeah,
Tell us
and
more.
then we're gonna get our two, I guess, anti-heroes together, our Cyril and our Deidre, and I think they're gonna combine the super team to essentially hunt down Andor.
Yeah.
And I think them hunting down Andor is gonna cause him to join the rebellion again.
And it's also going to, I think, cause them to see it differently why people want to join the rebellion and fight against the Empire. Because right now they kind of are anti-heroes. Like, they're not really sold on the Empire, I feel like.
I think so, too. And, I mean, I do think that we're going to see an increase of Empire, I guess, acts of terror. Because obviously they're going to be searching these systems for these rebels, and I think you're going to see like atrocities committed.
Oh, they're definitely committing genocide.
Yeah, I think you'll start to see why people would join the rebellion. I think we're going to get a lot of interesting themes in the next couple of episodes. Now, I mean, what are your thoughts? You think they're going to go option 1 or they're going to go option 2?
We're definitely going to see some atrocities. Like, that's how I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's going to be some atrocities happening by the larger Empire. I think our smaller group of, Deidre and Serial and that smaller group of, like you said, anti-heroes, I think they're going to be kind of running their own operation. And then the larger Empire is going to be out just, like, doing large sweeps of systems and just doing, the worst possible things that they know how to do, like they always do, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I expect, a lot of the Aldanians to be probably wiped off the face of the earth.
Yeah, they're probably going to go there and be like, did you plan this? Do you know who did this? Was this you guys?
Because they'd be like, oh, they were disguised as Aldanians. The next thing you know, all the Aldanians are going to be wiped off the face of the earth.
Yeah, I think that's how it's going to go. I think they're all going to die. It's kind of like their progression. They're going to die.
Or they join the Empire, or they join the rebellion.
Maybe.
After some atrocities are committed. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see more of like the second option compared to the first.
Yeah.
But I think maybe they'll combine elements of my two theories.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's just like I said, there's still 6 episodes to go. There's still a lot that they can do. We're talking 45-minute episodes before the credits roll. There's a lot you can do.
Oh, I think we're gonna start pushing an hour soon. These next couple episodes.
I think we're hitting the meat of the series, like the real good, like. This is where it's going to get really good, and then the last couple episodes are going to be, like, action-packed, but starting to close off and tie ends, just in case for some reason, second season falls apart and they can't film it or something.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see, like, maybe, like, some building up of stuff we see in the sequel in the original trilogy. I want to see them starting to build Yavin 4's base. I want to see them starting to build Hoth base. Starting to build the cruisers and the X-Wings. And
yeah.
I want to see kind of like, because, like, somebody had to build these ships. Somebody had to pay for them, and I think if they want Andor to be about the rebellion, that's what they need to show.
Yeah, I was really excited when I saw the trailer in the first episode, when he's walking through, like, the shipyards and stuff. I was really interested to see, because I'm a sucker for visuals, obviously, as everybody can tell. I love to see the visuals of the the universe, and seeing in if you've ever played Jedi Fallen Order, when you're working on the ships, you get to see this incredible visual of like these shipyards where they just were storing these Republic star cruisers, and like they're just so amazing or breathtaking to look at. I thought we were going to see a lot more of that in Andor. Maybe we will. But I thought after seeing those first couple episodes where they're all working on the ships, taking them apart, I thought we were going to see a lot more of that. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of like kind of that stuff. Like you said, building the ships. I want to see them taking apart the old stuff and building the new stuff that they can use to take down the Empire this time around.
Or even like even the Imperial side, building Star Destroyers, building the Super Star Destroyer.
The Death
building
Star.
The Death Star, like... We hinted to it last episode of them maybe potentially showing us, something going on in Death Star when they mentioned Scarif.
Yeah.
So, who knows what we're gonna see?
There's just so much show to go.
Yeah, there's so many different directions they can go, and the good news is we have 6 episodes left.
And they can take multiple directions at the same time or at different points because there is still 6 episodes.
Yeah, and they've introduced so many different protagonists and antagonists in the series that they're going to give us multiple points of view, and we're going to see multiple storylines kind of come together. And
Yeah.
they're starting to build that. They build that world, build that storytelling, the character development that we kind of like. We're very critical of the first couple episodes.
Yeah, we were very skeptical going into the series and after those first couple episodes of, what is the direction here? Like, they're just introducing so many people, and it was just, like, so all over the place. And the first 3 episodes were really all over the place, and the next 3 episodes were really on point and just, like, this is the plot, and you're following this line, and then there's little couple points here and there, but that's not important. Stay focused. And now these next 3 episodes, I think, are going to kind of go back to being a little more chaotic in the sense of, jumping around. But I think we're going to get a lot of really good character building, and I think now people kind of understand what to expect when it comes to this series, and they're going to be ready to stay tuned. Because if you've already watched this far and you're not digging the series, I don't think you're going to at all. I think if you're 6 episodes in and you're not loving it, you're not going to love it.
Yeah, I think we've gotten to the point where like the episodes are just starting to get really good, and like everything kind of like that Disney planned out is starting to come together as one story.
Yeah, because I had no faith after the first 3 episodes. I mean, if you listen to our podcast, we had no faith. But then like every episode, we're coming into these podcasts going, "Holy shit, this episode was amazing!" Instead of coming in and going, "Man, what the hell was that?"
Yeah, it's like every episode kind of one-upped itself.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely getting better. I thought last episode was a little slower, but there was good Easter eggs. But this episode really, for me, it hit every point. The visuals, the action, just everything. I honestly, I do love to see when main characters die, because it shows that there's real stakes. Like this is still a world where shit doesn't go to plan. Like, people have to die. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we know, there's only 2 characters in this series that have plot armor. And that's Mon Mothma and Andor.
Yeah, and they only have plot armor. And Andor only has plot armor until Rogue One. And then it falls apart. So, I mean, the only other one that we really know of, and we haven't even seen him, would be like Vader if he shows up, Emperor if he shows up, Tarkin if he shows up. But again, they only have plot armor for so long as well.
Like, everyone in this series has plot armor for so long. It's just because we know what the future beholds.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we are getting to the point where not everybody's going to live.
Yeah,
obviously,
not everybody can live.
This episode, 4 of the 7 dead.
Dead, and 1 is left for dead.
Which could potentially die.
Another one's left for dead on a planet.
We don't know if Val is going to live. She might die,
I feel like Luthen by the end of the series is going to die.
Oh, yeah, 100%. He's not making it out of the series.
Like, he's got to. I feel like Mon Mothma's family might die because we don't hear about them at all.
Yeah, because Mon Mothma doesn't die until the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, and we don't know about her family at all at that point. So they either have to die or, like, kind of, like, disown her in a way. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all we have, guys. I mean, let us know what you're thinking. What is Andor's next move? I'll leave a question down below on the if you guys are using Anchor. If you're not using Anchor, you can go ahead and click. If you're on Spotify, I believe you can also answer the questions. If you're not listening on one of those 2 places, go ahead and follow us on Spotify. That's where you can kind of interact with us better, because Spotify owns the platform that we release this on. So, real quick, I just want to talk about some of the merchandise that we talked about earlier, and kind of some promotions that you guys can go ahead and take advantage of if you're going to be ordering it. So starting on the 19th of October and running until the 23rd, you can get free shipping. The 7th to the 12th of next month, you can get 20% off everything. And then on Black Friday of next month, you can get 35% off everything. And then between the 28th and the 4th of December, you can pick up 15% off everything, and you get free standard shipping as well. So if you guys want to pick anything up for Christmas, you can go ahead and do that for yourself. And everything ships usually within about a week and a week and a half. So if you guys don't want to do that, go ahead and check that stuff out. Pretty much that's it for us today. Do you have any closing thoughts here before we wrap this up?
No, not really. Just if you guys are a fan of the series, and the series is in our show. Like, so, like, comment, subscribe, share it to your Facebook feed, Twitter feed,
Everywhere.
Instagram.
Share it everywhere.
Share it everywhere. Tell your friends if someone like Star Wars or is even like somewhat geeked out by Star Wars like we are. Let them know. I want everyone should be able to share their passions with each other.
Yeah. That's why we created this.
Yeah, we want to share our thoughts and we want to hear yours too. You can always mention our Twitter or hop a like on Facebook or Instagram, drop a comment, even on the podcast itself. We're looking forward to hearing from you guys. That's why we come here and we sit here and talk every week. We want to eventually, start talking to you, the listeners, and eventually the viewers, Jason, right?
Yeah, eventually. When we do get our video set up, eventually we will have, viewers as well. But in the meantime, support us and show us that you guys want to see that stuff and show us that you're ready, to take that next step in this relationship.
Yeah, I mean, listen, regardless, every week me and Jay are going to be here talking.
Regardless of if you guys are interacting with us or not, we still want to sit here and we're still going to talk about it amongst ourselves. So even if there's no listeners, we're still going to talk about it.
Yeah, but obviously, we also want, your guys' opinions, your guys' comments give us extra content to talk about.
Yeah.
We can explore your theories. We can talk about your theories on the podcast. Drop us a voice message. We can play it during the show, and, we can kind of talk about what you have to talk about. It's just like we want to hear from you guys. We want to give you guys, hear your opinions and talk about it, explore it. Maybe a couple of your theories about where Andor is going to go next might beat mine or might be something that we talk about in the next episode. Who knows?
Could be. But yeah, like I said, we're wrapping it up for today. If you guys did enjoy it, like we said, go ahead and share it. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram, AE Podcasts. And that's pretty much all we have for you guys today. If you guys are enjoying Andor, go ahead and let us know down in the poll. And if you're enjoying this show, go ahead and share it around. We love you guys, and we will see you next Monday. Peace out.